Okay, here I am.
Now what?
Well, let me start, and then Joe Dan can take over in a minute. As you know, Becky has been selected as our Trails Country Treasure. When Trails Country Center for the Arts was organized in 2001, the board adopted a stylized hand as its logo, inspired by a Native American petroglyph, which symbolized the spirit of creativity. In 2006, TCCA created the Trails Country Treasure Award to be presented to those who epitomize that spirit of creativity. For the ceremony, Georgia Langmore designed and made a ceramic plaque in the shape of the organization's logo, the hand. In 2009, when TCCA became Winnsboro Center for the Arts, the board of directors voted to continue designating the annual Trails Country Treasure honoree and use the hand logo for that award. And for that reason, we have this to hand to that we want to let you be part of the esteemed group that are Trails Country Treasures. And let me name some of those people because some of you are in the audience. The first one in 2006 was author and poet Odina Brahman. The second one in 2007 was Bill Jones. Bill, do you want to stand up so we can... In 2008, photographers George and Lavana Hitz. Is Lavana here today?
No.
I'm sorry that she's missing this. They had me in 2009. Graham Hopkins was our 2010 honoree. Graham is... he has recovered from some surgery that he needed, but is being cared for very nicely by Tracy. Then in 2011, Marianne Miller.
Yeah.
In 2012, Lynn Adler and Lindy Hearn, who they're going to try but are busy.
They're on their way to Chicago.
Okay. In 2013, fiddler J.T. Mullinax was our Trails Country Treasure. And then last year, Georgia and Al Moore. We are honored that all of you not have only received some of these hallelujahs, but are so glad that you were able to come and share it with Becky. We'll go into Becky's background a little bit later. Whatever Joe Dan doesn't tell about her, I have some stuff too. And she has some high school friends who I hope will come and say something about her too. Joe Dan? By the way, Becky was on the original committee. Joe Dan and Becky and I have been working on this from the beginning, and we were all the more.
I wasn't consulted for this year.
Okay.
It just keeps going.
You can zoom in.
I'm Joe Dan Boyd, and this is my friend Becky Pickett. Her sister and I worked together. We were both journalists, and we were in high school together. you were a little bit slightly different age, you know, didn't know you as well in those days. But just want to say that this honor, this, you know, what I like to call Becky our latest Trails Country Treasure Laureate. Doesn't that sound good?
Yeah.
Laureate. So, you know, just take it under consideration as maybe we might start calling it Treasure Laureate, rather than just honoree or recipient, this sort of thing. It really started with an attempt to honor Odina Branham, who used to work with the Winnsboro News many years ago, back before Howard Rosser and during Howard Rosser's term and all that. I learned that when I interviewed her. I didn't know that again. But she was a poet and a hilarious lady in her 90s who would read a poem and throw it up in the air. Remember Mary Ann? She would read the poem and throw it up in the air and it would come floating down like an autumn leaf in the wind. And we started this program to honor her. Well, the board, when Mary Ann was president, decided to make it a permanent thing. And this brings us up to today when Becky Pickett, to read, by the way, this is a photographic certificate plaque, and it says, Winnsboro Center for the Arts certificate presented to Becky Wheeler Pickett to commemorate the life, generous spirit, distinguished career of 1960 WHS graduate Becky Wheeler Pickett, whose lifetime passion for fiber arts started with sewing doll clothes as a child, learning to knit in nursing school, eventually mastering crochet and other needlework. She has been a weaver for 20 years, quilter for 3 decades, and she is proficient at spinning and dyeing her own yarn. She is imbued with an artistic love for the colors and textures of woven and knitted fabrics, always seeking unique possibilities for creating beautiful cloth. She has shared her passion with the Winnsboro Center for the Arts for over 10 years as an exhibiting artist, supporter of the Youth Drama Camp, and a dedicated volunteer. Let's hear it for her.
Oh, me. I am so honored and thrilled that you're all here, that you came. To quote Sally Fields, you like me. To see my old friends from high school, plus my newer friends, plus my new friends, it's thrilling to know I have so many friends. This honor from the Art Center is very, very special because I wasn't here at the conception of the Art Center, but soon after. I can remember the first day I walked through that door. They were getting ready for the first annual garage sale. I met Murray Stillman and Isla Moore, and they were so gracious and kind and warm, and I said, I want to be a part of this. And they welcomed me, and I have been a part of it and involved ever since, and have loved every minute of it. In fact, I say the Art Center is my second home because I'm here a lot.
We gave her the top in the back for you.
My friends tell me I'm an artist. I really question that, but I love the arts. I was raised with the arts, classical music, appreciation for art, painting, all kinds of art. And I guess I've dibble-dabbled and tried out nearly every form of art. I took piano lessons as a child. I took painting lessons. I've done drawing classes. I've done pottery, mosaics. But I've always gone back to my first passion, which is the fiber arts. I just love the feel. I'm a touchy-feely person. I love the feel and the texture and the color and working with just a blob of fiber and creating something beautiful. Thank you all for coming. I really, really appreciate it, and I'm very honored. And thank you.
Before she gets out of our spotlight, she not only is a volunteer here at the Arts Center, but does a lot more than that. It took half a page to list the things that she does besides the Arts Center. Well, in the first place, I first knew Becky, I think, at the when we started the Humane Society, and also there was a drama group that we belonged to way back in the early 90s. But besides that, she is also was a member of the Winnsboro Humane Society, and helped to foster some dogs, I believe, along the way, as well as take in strays. And Bill and Betty Jones and Joanne White were the people that continued doing, even after the Humane Society as an organization stopped, and I think Becky, you were one of those also that continued taking care of our animals.
And my sister was involved in that too. Karen was also involved.
And in addition to that, she's been working with Meals on Wheels, delivering food. In addition to that, she's the Wood County rep at the East Texas Council of Alcohol and Drug Abuse. She's been a member of the Friends of the Library. And here at the Arts Center, besides general volunteering, she's the coordinator of workshops and classes, as well as the supporter of the youth drama camp. So Becky, besides her fiber arts, has dabbled. And I also remember some writing that she did when her daughter was giving a class here one time.
Oh, yeah.
She inspired her. And
a little acting, but
okay. But all of these things make Becky not only a volunteer and a special part of the Arts Center, but of the community, because the Winnsboro community has honored her and she has given back many, many times. Now, are there any people in our audience that would like to make some comments? Conrad is one, and I would like some of her high school friends to tell some secrets about her. Conrad?
It's getting harder and harder to get up.
well, they made them so high.
Well, I keep getting higher. Every day I'm getting higher. I met Becky pretty well when she first walked into this building. It was, I believe, early in 2006 at the garage sale. And they had a silent auction of various pieces of art and other stuff going on. And of course, I didn't know Becky from anybody. I didn't know anybody here. I had just arrived in Winnsboro in November of '05, so I knew very few people here. And there was a particular painting that was here that I had to have. I collect art. My house is full of art, and of course, I own an art gallery now here in town. And I had to have this. I had to have this painting. And so I was bidding on it, and this Becky person was bidding against me. And I figured I'd get this painting for $100, $150, but it was not to be. But every time I up to bid, somebody named Becky would sneak in and put a higher bid.
Becky's hard-headed.
And she eventually saw that the person who was bidding against her, and she was giving me dirty looks. It was obvious she really wanted this painting. Also, at the very last second, I sniped her bid, her last bid. And I ended up bidding $250 for this painting that I thought I was going to get for a song. And Becky was so disappointed. She had such a look of sorrow on her face. And I remember Lou Viney's was open across the street, and they announced the winners of the bids over there. Kind of retired to Lou Viney's and had a glass of whatever, and some snacks. And boy, Becky looked so sad. And they announced the winner. I was so happy that I won this bid. And I looked at Becky and I said, if you'll match my bid. Well, first I asked her, why she was so forlorn, and she said, well, I was going to donate this to the Art Center. And I said, okay, if you match my bid, I'll donate it to the center. And she did, and I did, and it's up front. It's the Barbara Richards piece. And it shows the generosity of this young woman here, who I've learned to love over the 10 years I've known her. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. And it was just more money for the Art Center.
That's
so.
right.
Okay, I'm gonna tell on your girlfriend. She kind of slipped a little bit and said that she sometimes did a little bit of acting.
Well, this was back years ago.
Oh yeah, but last April, you did your Academy Award-winning performance. When I was honored as the Woman of the Year for Winnsboro, I was not going to go to the chamber banquet. So Becky called me up and she said, Marianne, they're making me go to the banquet, and I don't want to go by myself, and will you please come to the banquet with me? And I'm like, Becky, what's wrong? Is something wrong? No, I can't tell you, I can't tell. I mean, she played this so, I was totally discombobulated. I thought something horrible was going on with Becky, and she just needed some moral support and was going out to the banquet, maybe, I don't know, to have some wine and get over it. And even when I picked her up and she got in the car and I said, Becky, can you tell me now what's wrong? She said, no, I can't tell you. I just have to wait until later to tell you. And I mean,
Your daughter and I were in on it too.
I know, they were all in. And so my next production at the theater here, Becky Pickett's going to have a part.
It was a surprise, so I couldn't. It's the only thing I could think of. So.
Is there anyone else? Okay.
Oh, dear.
Becky's in trouble now.
Well, do I have to get up there?
Yes. Yes, you have to get up there. Yes, Jay. Get up there. I'm the boss of you today, Jay.
Okay. A way long time ago, I'm a fiber person too. I went to the state fair with my Rockwall friends, which is my
That was before you moved.
Yeah, it was before I moved here. I'd never heard of Winnsboro, but I was at the state fair in the Texas building. It's a little place where they sell all goods made in Texas, and there's this big center area, kiosk right in the middle with all this fiber in it. And my friends and I from the knitting club were going through all this fiber, and we saw the tag on there, and it says the spinning wheelers. So we decided we'd have a field trip to this place called Winnsboro. So my knitting gang called her partner in business, Janet Caslon, and invited ourselves out to her fiber farm. And Janet got all worried. Who are these ladies? I don't know who they are. Becky, will you come over here and help me do this? So we all invaded that space. That's the first time we met. Then I forgot about it. But when I moved to Winnsboro, I went down to the library and said, what should I do in this town? You know, I always go to the library first when I move. And they said, go down to the art center. There's some really nice people down there. I walked in and there's Becky, and I said, I know you. She said, I know you. So she's really the first person I met in this town. We've had some adventures.
Yes, we have. We enjoy our adventures.
Come on, I want some high school secrets.
Hey, Rosie.
Rosalind's our mother.
We have not censored this.
Uh-oh.
Well, I'm one of the old friends that she referred to earlier.
Since first grade.
That's right.
Pretty damn old.
Well, what I want to talk about and what I remember a lot from our childhood was Becky's house up on Cox Hill. And we love to go out there and have slumber parties and whatever. And one of the most funniest things about the place that I just fell in love with was underneath the dining room table, there was a buzzer that you could push for a maid. Well, we wore that out. And Mary kept coming, her mother kept coming, and finally we realized that I was not to push that buzzer again. So I didn't do it anymore. But we had, some of the girls said, well, remind them about the slumber party we had where Karen and who else was trying to scare us, was Bernie on that?
No, it was me. It was me and I don't know who else, somebody else. I think it was Joy. Joy's no longer with us. But I had this slumber party and they were all gathered on the bed in the downstairs bedroom. And there were 10 of us at that time, I think.
Yeah.
And so anyway, 2 or 3 of us, and I think it was Joy. And I slipped out and went around to the outside and scratched on the screen. Of course, it was summertime, so all the windows were up. We had no air conditioning. And scratched on the screen. My God. Squealing and thought that bed emptied out, and they knocked each other down trying to get upstairs. And Mother and Daddy were sleeping in the bedroom right at the top of the stairs. Well, I put that differently. They were attempting to sleep. Anyway, they were just, and of course we had come back in and we were following them up the stairs like we were part of it, you know, just scared them. But it was fun.
And one of the other things that I remember too is that I guess it was probably at the middle of our sophomore year, Becky gave, back then we called it a Sadie Hawkins party up on the hill. And so naturally, that's when you invited a boy. And so I invited Jerry that year. That was our first date. And this December, if we make it, we'll be 55 years. So thank you. Now, he might not thank you.
My name's Brock Hopkins.
Dr. Brock.
I just wanted to say a word or two about this young lady. I had the honor of being a classmate of hers here, Winnsboro High School in 1960, and we didn't see each other for a while, and
Well, you went off to Hawaii.
we went off and we were gone 30 some odd years, and then we filed for a permit to return to Winnsboro. It took years of consideration, and anyway, Becky approved the permit, so ended up coming back, and we have a real nice Winnsboro High School class of 1960 group, and we meet from time to time, and we have some committees and all that sort of thing. And this young lady is just one of the pillars of the organization. She said we have, the name of her committee is a historical committee. She calls it the hysterical. They sound pretty much alike.
I have to be careful.
But she took care of the bios, doing the bios for our class, each of our reunions, and she just accepts responsibility with ease and does a fine job and works really hard. So anyway, we love her, and I think it's very appropriate that you are being honored for being such an outstanding citizen, and she's also very kind to animals. So, you know, I admire her.
It'd be bad if you
for
lived
that.
animals.
We let her go.
I have something to say, but I don't want to get up there. I'm just going to say that none of us will play Trivial Pursuit with her because she wins all. So, does that tell you how smart she is? That's the old fox.
I I couldn't do the contemporary one. We do the original.
No, we don't anymore, because you always beat us. She realized on parts.
Can I come up and say something?
Yes, I think you're allowed.
I reckon.
You reckon so? You have been here. You reckon?
My late wife and I were approached about this organization when we were getting ready to move to Rockport, Texas, to find a place that had some culture. She is the Isla Moore that Becky was talking about. And, we had some rough times when we first started this place out. But I'm not going to go into any detail because I know Becky would get embarrassed, and I don't know that she would want anybody to even know. But if it was not for this lady, this place would not be here. There was a rescue effort made to keep this place going, and she was a key factor in it. And she may not want to admit it, but honey, you saved us.
Well, let's go have something
Let's go
to...
eat.
Yes, let's go eat. Let me see your...
Thank you all very much.
Okay,